If you want your Facebook ads to perform better, you have to avoid a few critical mistakes. It sounds simple, but the hard part is these mistakes are not obvious to the average marketer or brand, and most people don't even know they are making them. In this video, I'm going to walk through the 5 biggest Facebook ad traps that are holding you back from scaling faster. And once you know how to avoid these, you'll be able to immediately tell a difference inside of your ad account. Now, I know this works because I personally advise on over $200 million in ad spend, and all I do all day long is work with marketers and brands on how to scale. Just look around your office, home, or your closet. You probably have a product that came directly from one of the brands that we've worked with. So if you know you should be getting better results with Facebook ads, this video will help you tremendously. The first mistake I see with Facebook ads is optimizing for front-end metrics instead of conversion velocity. A lot of marketers obsess over front-end metrics like click-through rates, cost per click, and overall engagement rate in general. The thought process behind this is they think they're acquiring traffic for cheaper, and that equals better performance. There's 2 reasons why this is wrong and why it will cost you 2 to 3 times more in ad spend in the long run. The first being cheap clicks. Cheap clicks doesn't mean buying intent. Chasing low cost per clicks also doesn't mean efficiency. Facebook's algorithm will always find the easiest clicks, not the most valuable ones. That means you end up with window shoppers, bots, or low-quality users who bounce instantly. The second reason being is front-end metrics ignore the full customer journey. If you stop analyzing at the ad level, you might celebrate a 3% click-through rate, but never realize that 95% of those clicks die on the landing page because of friction, poor offer alignment, or low trust. What we want to do instead is we want to track the speed and flow from an ad to landing page to checkout. By studying AOV lift, session depths, and time to purchase, we can build ads that sync perfectly with the back end of our funnel. That's why our campaigns scale so profitably. We're managing a full system, not just the ads. We don't want the cheapest clicks. We want the fastest payback loop to get our money back from the ads so we can scale up even more. When we look at an example of this, a lot of you only have 5, 10, 15, maybe 20 ads running, and most of you are looking at your initial cost per click, how your ads are being engaged, and the initial metrics that are coming in. Once you see some positive indicators, you make a few iterations from there. This can take a really long time to be able to get to scale and find out what's working. Whereas brands like Cernucci are already running 240 different ad formats with lots of unique creative variables, so that way they can achieve conversion velocity and rapidly test much quicker. And you can see this with other brands like Tecovas where they have 190 active ads. You need to be able to increase the amount of creative volume you're doing so that way you can focus on being able to drive more sales with Facebook ads. Now, the second Facebook ad mistake is not understanding how to navigate the Andromeda Facebook update. This keeps a ton of marketers stuck in that 1 to 2x ROAS and makes it almost impossible to scale. With Andromeda, the way that you test creatives is completely different. If you want my full Andromeda update, you can actually check out this video right here. What most marketers do, they only test one variable at a time, one hook, one thumbnail, one headline, and one audience simultaneously. That was the old way. The new way is you have multiple unique creative formats all in the same audience. So for example, you would have your founder story, your problem solution, your before and after, your product demo, and all of the other creatives I recommend on this channel. And you're going to test all of those inside of each audience, and the Andromeda update is going to show each creative in the order in which they think your customer would be most likely to buy. In use 2, you would test one variable, wait 7 to 14 days, you would see what worked, and then you would change another variable to identify your next winner. The old way took forever to identify your winners. With the new way, we can rapidly test to find our winners and scale faster. We're not just testing ads, we're training the algorithm to recognize patterns. That's why our Facebook ads scale so predictably and profitably. The third Facebook ad mistake I see is ignoring algorithmic rhythm. Most marketers panic and pause ads or duplicate them daily. This constantly tells Meta, I need to relearn this pattern. This causes 2 things to happen. 1, it resets the learning phase when you pause, duplicate, or make big edits like budget changes or creative swaps. You force Meta to restart the learning phase. The algorithm then loses all that conversion data it was using to identify your best audience pockets. You go back to cold delivery where performance fluctuates heavily. CPMs rise, CPA spikes, and consistency tanks. So instead of compounding more data, which equals smart targeting, you're deleting your progress literally every 24 hours. It's like hitting a reset on a marathon every mile. It confuses Meta's optimization system. Meta's delivery system is designed to learn patterns. Who buys at what time on which placements? When you keep changing things, Meta never stabilizes delivery or finds that sweet spot. You get volatile performance, good one day, bad the next. Your cost per result jumps around with no clear reason. Your budget efficiency drops because the system's predictive modeling keeps restarting. This is how you flow with Meta's algo and use it to your favor. What you'll end up doing is you'll launch a creative testing campaign where you can rapidly test all of these creatives, so that way you're not disturbing performance in the creatives that you've already launched previously. This prevents you from having to constantly launch new creatives in the same audiences and constantly reset that learning phase. This allows us to identify unique winners, so eventually once we migrate them over, they take off immediately, allowing Meta's algorithm to take capture of this and run with it. Now, the fourth Facebook ad mistake is testing creatives as assets instead of having a creative system. Average marketers, they see each ad as a one-off ad. They launch it, hope it hits, and then move on. We build creative flywheels, feedback loops where top performers inform the next 5 variations, 10 variations, and so on. On my channel, in my content where you hear about my viral rush method, this is exactly what this is. The rush method is one big feedback loop funnel that flows into every pillar of your marketing. Whether it's Facebook ads, TikTok, your Shopify CRO, email and SMS, TikTok shop, the full funnel. And I have more information on how that can scale your brand down in the description below. Now look at Good American. They do an insane job of using creator flywheels. What we end up seeing is with all of these creatives that they've launched, they're testing multiple unique creative formats. There's really no two that are alike. We have UGC, we have try-on based videos, we have static images showing the exact product, back in stock, we have drop text. And then as we scroll down, we have features and benefit creatives. We have always fits denim. As you can see, no creative is similar. We're testing multiple different variables in different formats to be able to identify which ones are going to work best. And Meta's algorithm does a really good job of being able to show each of these creatives at the exact point in which somebody is most likely to convert. So someone might see a creative around how it fits and be interested in buying this product based off of the look. But then they'll be served another ad that actually breaks down exactly why this is, because of the stretch and because of how they've designed this. And now they understand the product, they're interested in the product, and then they're seeing somebody visually talk about it in a UGC-based video as a review. Now, this starts to build the credibility, and now they're seeing it out in real life. These start to connect the dots for an individual to make a purchase decision. Whereas if you only had one creative and you're testing one different ad copy, or maybe you're testing a different headline here, you're not going to get the same outcomes that you used to before Andromeda. So the big takeaway is you want to have lots of different variations here to be able to allow Meta to serve these in the most efficient way. And you can see the biggest brands are doing this. We have another example, Starface. None of these videos are similar. They're all different. We have images, we have product focused, because when somebody sees a video and then they see the gift shop and then they see the product in focus, well, they watched the video, they went to the website, engaged with the product, now they're being served a product focus based ad, and then they're seeing a review based, and now they're getting a special offer for the first time that they purchase. This is all by design because these big brands understand that you have to pump lots of creative variations and formats to be able to serve the right amount of ads to the right people at the right time in the most efficient way to be able to scale. So a lot of you are missing out on this, and you need to not only increase the amount of formats you have, but make sure they are as unique as possible so you could rapidly test and scale. Okay, the fifth Facebook ad mistake I see is about your mindset. This is really important, especially for beginners. Everyone thinks they are too late. Goalie already took over supplements, Aloe took over athleisure, and makeup, I'll let y'all decide who's taking over that space. And people think that bigger brands will outspin them, that their niche is too saturated. That's the common pattern of excuses. Now let me change your mind on that forever. The game of Facebook ads, and more specifically, Facebook ads for e-commerce brands, is a game that anyone can play. That's why brands like Grüns were able to take massive market share from AG1. One of my clients, Waterboy, who took massive market share from Liquid IV and Gatorade. The game is forever because everyone can tell a different story, but very few understand this, and that's why the playing field couldn't be more level. It's not about how much you can spend, it's about how well you can tell a story and understand different pain points that your market is begging for solutions to. Now let's recap the 5 biggest Facebook ad traps that are keeping you from scaling. Number 1, optimizing for front-end metrics instead of conversion velocity. Number 2, not understanding how to navigate the Andromeda Facebook update. Number 3, ignoring algorithmic rhythm. And 4, testing creatives as assets instead of having a creative system. And number 5, not having the marketer mindset. Now that you can scale faster with Facebook ads, let's start playing the game of e-commerce, and I'll show you how to beat out your competitors every single time, no matter how big they are. You can learn how in this next video I picked out for you right here. I'll see you inside.